Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yashoda Nandana Braja Jadaranjanan. Yashoda Nandana Braja Jadaranjanan. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Kalachandji, Radha Kalachandji Radhe. Jaya Radha Radha Kalachandji, Radha Kalachandji, Shri Radhe. Jaya Jaya Jagannath, 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 Jaya Jaya Jagannath. Jaya Jaya Baladev, 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 Jaya Jaya Baladev. Jaya Jaya Subhadra, 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 Jaya Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Jaya Gornitai, 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 Jaya Jaya Gornitai. Nitai Guru Haribol, 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 Nitai Guru Haribol. Nitai Guru Haribol, 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 Nitai Guru Haribol. When the singing is this arousing and transcendental, it's like, okay, what else do I need to say? It's been said, just in the association. So we're continuing to read from Canto 8, and we go through chapters 1 through 16, but we're going to focus on 14. Yes. And the chapter is covering executing the Payovrata process of worship, which is, which is quite interesting because as many times as I've read this, the Srimad Bhagavatam, this is like new to me. And what that indicates is that anytime you read the scriptures, when you go back and you read it again, you are bound to discover something different each time. And depending on who you're listening to from time to time, who's ever giving the lecture, you will find that maybe 10 or 15 different people will give a lecture on a particular subject. And all of them will receive it a little bit differently, but they keep the essence of it. So keep that in mind as we're going through. Now I understand that as we read, you all volunteer to take a translation, is that right? Good. So I'm really looking for some volunteering and no quietness. We're all participating. This is one big family, so don't hesitate to read. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gananjanan Shalakaya Chakshun Militam Yena Tashmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapyatam Nena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadam Ayam Dadati Swa Panandikam Vanchakalpa Turubhyascha Kripa Sindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhya Namo Namaha. When I read this, I always think of it being a reminder that not only all of us, but we were born in the darkest of ignorance, and our spiritual master opened our eyes with a torch of knowledge. I always offer my most humble obeisances to my spiritual master and to my Maha spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. So executing the Payovrata process of worship, and we'll start with text 1, the translation. So who would like to start out reading? And I understand that for some reason, those that are hearing this over the internet are unable to hear it. So if we need a mic, please utilize the mic. Oh, good, you're holding the mic. So does that mean you're going to be the first one that reads? I can't wait.
Shukadeva Goswami said, O king, when Aditi's sons, the demigods, had thus disappeared from heaven and the demons had occupied their places, Aditi began lamenting as if she had no protector.
After many, many days, the great powerful sage Kasyapa Muni arose from a trance of meditation and returned home to see the ashram of Aditi neither jubilant nor festive.
O best of the Kurus, when Kasyapa Muni had been properly received and welcomed, he took his seat and then spoke as follows to his wife Aditi, who was very morose.
O most gentle one, I wonder whether anything inauspicious has now taken place in regard to religious principles, the Brahmanas or the people in general who are subject to the whims of death.
O my wife, who are very much attached to household life in the principles of religion, anemic development and satisfaction of the senses are properly followed in household life. One's activities are as good as those of a transcendentalist. I wonder whether there have been any discrepancies in following these principles.
Text 6. I wonder whether because of being too attached to the members of your family, you failed to properly receive uninvited guests, who therefore were not welcomed and went away.
Homes from which guests go away without having been received, even with an offering of a little water, are like those holes in the field which are the homes of jackals.
O chaste and auspicious woman, when I left home for other places, were you in so much anxiety that you did not offer oblations of ghee into the fire?
By worshipping the fire and the Brahmanas, a householder can achieve the desired goal of residing in the higher planets, for the sacrificial fire and the Brahmins are to be considered the mouth of Lord Vishnu, who is the supersoul of all the demigods.
Okay, minded lady, are all your minded lady, are all your sons faring well? Seeing your withered face, I can perceive that your mind is not tranquil. How is this so?
Text 11. Aditi said, "O my respected Brahmana husband, all is well with the Brahmanas, the cows, religion, and the welfare of other people. O master of the house, the three principles of Dharma, Artha, Kama, flourish in household life, which is consequently full of good fortune."
O beloved husband, the fires, guests, servants, and beggars are all being properly cared for by me, because I always think of you. There is no possibility that any of the religious principles will be neglected.
O my lord, since you are a Prajapati and are personally my instructor in the principles of religion, where is the possibility that all my desires will not be fulfilled?
O son of Marichi, because you are a great personality, you are equal toward all the demons and demigods, who are born either from your body or from your mind, and who possess one or another of the three qualities, Sattva Guna, Rajaguna, or Tamaguna. But although the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Controller, is equal toward all living entities, he is especially favorable towards the devotees.
Therefore, most gentle Lord, kindly favor your maidservant. We have now been deprived of our opulence and residence by our competitors, the demons. Kindly give us protection.
The demons, our formidable, powerful enemies, have taken away our opulence, our beauty, our fame, and even our residence. Indeed, we have now been exiled, and we are drowning in an ocean of trouble.
Jai. What I find interesting is the approach of Kashyapa Muni when he comes in and he understands that Aditi is distressed. And he doesn't come into the house like the quote-unquote average husband. What is wrong with you, woman? What's going on? He comes in with compassion. This is during the age of Satya Yuga. Goodness, truthfulness, higher spiritual knowledge, such compassion. He's checking all the boxes. Has anyone been offended? Did you offer the oblations of the ghee lamp? Did you worship the brahmanas? Did you follow the grihasta principles? Even though one is grihasta, you are still required to follow principles because the goal, as is the goal whether you're grihasta or you were in a residence, just you and Krishna, is that you are wanting to heighten or learn more spiritual knowledge, just to shorten it. It is very important that we follow the guidelines. And Kashyapa is asking these questions. And we covered something that I had not even thought about. I didn't know that guests that were not invited, there was a name for it. It's called astitis, which is a challenge because most of us, I don't know how anyone handles guests that are not invited. I know how I handled it, and I'm still working on it. But he's asking all of these questions because he's very concerned. Aditi is also concerned for more than one reason. So we're going to focus on text 14. And the last line of the translation, for lack of a better word, jumped out at me because it resonated with me. And it covered so much of what Krishna consciousness is all about. So I'll go through and read it. But before I delve into text 14, I always like to offer prayers to my guru. Namo Vishnu Vinaya Krishna Snai Buddha Shimadi Bhakti Tirtha Swami Janamani Namaste Krishna Prabhupada Astriyatmini Shri Guru Karuna Shakti Bhakti Tirtha Swami Janamani Stay Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharani Nevasesha Sunyavali Pashtati Satani Jaya Shri Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadara Hashivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, text 14. Tave maricha mana sari raja praja imam sadvarajos tamajushaha samo bhavan taswa sunradishu prabhu tatapi bhaktam bhajate maheshwaram tave va maricha mana sari raja praja imam sadvarajos tamajushaha samo bhavan Taswa suradishu prabhu tatapi bhaktam bhajate maheshwaram Taveva maricha mana sari raja prajaimam sadvarajastamo jushaha Samo bhavam taswa surudishu prabhu tatapi bhaktam bhajate maheshwaraha. Would someone like to repeat? Taveva marisha mane sarudi vraja Rajan Samo bhavam tasvara rudisha prabhu Tatapi bhaktam bhajate maheshwaraha Taviva maricha mani sari raja Raja ima sattva rajastamo jusha Samo bhavam tasva saururadishu prabhu Tatabi bhaktam bhajate maheshwara Taviva maricha mane sari rajaha Raja imam sadva rajos tamorjaha Samo bhavam tasva suradisha prabhu Tatabi bhaktam bhajate maheshwaraha. Anyone else? Taviva maricha manasari raja Rajai mam sattva rajastamo jushaha Samo bhavam tasva sarudishu prabhu Tatabi bhaktam bhajate maheshwaraha Taviva maricha manasari raja Rajai mam sattva rajastamo rujasaha Samo bhavam tasa sarudashu prabhu Tatabi bhaktam bhajate maheshwaraha Taviva maricha manasari raja Prajayimam sattva rajastamo jusha. Tamo bhavam tatsaruda dushu prabhu. Tatapi bhaktam bhajate maheshwara. Thank you for the participation. I'm always in awe of the younger crowd and how well you speak and how nicely you read. That says a lot about the teachings that's going on in our school. So it's always good to hear from you all. Good job. Good job. Word for word, tava yor. Eva, indeed. Maricha, O son of Marichi. Mana Sariraja, born either of your body or of your mind, all the demons and demigods. Prajaha, born of you. Imaha, all of them. Sattva Raja, Tama Jushaha, infected with Sattva Guna, Rajaguna, or Tamaguna. Samaha, equal. Bhavan, your good self. Pashu, to every one of them. Asura Adishu, beginning with the Asuras. Prabhu, O my Lord. Tata api, still. Bhaktam, unto the devotees. Bhajate, take care of. Maheshwaraha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Controller. Translation: O son of Marichi, because you are a great personality, you are equal toward all the demons and demigods who are born either from your body or from your mind, and who possess one or another of the three qualities, Sattva-guna, Rajaguna, or Tamaguna. But although the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Controller, is equal toward all living entities, he is especially favorable to the demigods. He is especially favorable to the devotees. Again, O son of Marichi, because you are a great personality, you are equal toward all the demons and demigods who are born either from your body or from your mind, and who possess one or another of the three qualities, Sattva-guna, Rajaguna, or Tamaguna. But although the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Controller, is equal toward all living entities, he is especially favorable to the devotees. That's the line that caught me. It pulls me and it makes me remember that no matter what's going on, no matter how imperfect I may be performing my sadhana, or any of us, that the Lord is especially favorable to the devotees. It's not that he's discriminating, he doesn't. He loves us all. But it's like the parent or the friend who has more association and communication with maybe one or two individuals, They come to your mind, they come to your attention. So you're favorable to them. No discrimination. Going on to the purport, the Bhagavad Gita 9:29, the Lord says, Samoham savabhutashe, name dvesha sti na priya, ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya mayi te tishu chapi aham. Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead is equal toward everyone, he is especially inclined toward those who engage in his devotional service. The Lord says, Konteya Pratijna Name Bhakta Pranashati. My dear son of Kunti, please declare that my devotees will never be vanquished. Elsewhere, Krishna says, Yayata mam prapadyate, tam stateva bhajami aham, mam varmanu vartate, manusha pata savasha. That's Bhagavad Gita for text 11. Actually, everyone is trying to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead in various ways. But according to their methods of approach, the Supreme Lord endows them with different benedictions. Thus, Aditi appealed to her husband by saying that since even the Supreme Controller favors his devotees, and since Indra, Kasyapa's devoted son, was in difficulty, Kasyapa should bestow his favor upon Indra. You know, there's always a section of there's always a line in the scriptures where you can just communicate and what is the word? You can make a lesson out of one line, but there's so much here. We understand that as Kasyapa has asked Aditi, has she done this? Have you done that? Have you done this? Have you done that? She's done it all. But she's asking for a favor of him. And here's what it reminds me of. Because Kasyapa comes in, after he comes out of his meditation, he's asking what has been done, why is she in anxiety? And it reminds me of what maybe we should do sometimes when we see someone is in trouble or someone is having some anxiety. We should ask, and especially as devotees. What I will do sometimes, especially with those that are just coming in and those that have been in for a while, if they're having a really rough time, I'll ask, well, so how is your sadhana? Are you chanting? And see, these are my basics, because that's what was passed down to me. Are you chanting? Are you reading? Are you having good association? I don't mean just association with just anyone. Really good association. Are you listening to sannyasis, gurus? Are you listening to the lectures? Are you in the proper mood when you are with others? And it goes back to the same thing. If you tell me who your friends are, I'll tell you what you are or who you're like, because your friends reflect who you are. So again, it can't be said enough, and if I say it too much, I'm sorry, but it's very important. The point is, when we are in trouble, sometimes we don't want anyone else to know, but if we are really and truly the family that Srila Prabhupada wants us to be and that we're supposed to be, we should be asking others that we're comfortable with, as far as invading their space. What's wrong? What's going on? And we don't do it. Sometimes we're just too private. And if we are, and there's so much help available to us. It's our fault sometimes if we don't get the help we need. I have seen that in our movement a lot, but I believe I was blessed, as well as many of you were blessed, with a wonderful guru. And his main point is that we look after each other, we care for each other, we check in on each other. There was a point where, when I was in Michigan, monthly, what we would do is we would pick a random person's name, someone that you really didn't associate with, which is perfect, because we're good as long as we're communicating with someone we're familiar with. But when it comes to communicating with someone that we don't know, then we withdraw and we pull away, and that's not any good for us, and it's not good for the person that we're pulling away from, because we're stunning our growth. We grow when we expand our relationships. We should be checking in on each other randomly. Pick a person. Pick more than one person, but develop a relationship with others. When you come in on, let's say, Sundays, for instance, sometimes when people come in, it's like catch up for the week that preceded, you know, what's going on. It's socializing hour. But more than that, it should be checking in on each other. How are you doing? What's going on? I have noticed, and this is probably way off track of what we're talking about, but I have noticed that like never before, I'm noticing younger people, younger than myself. Practically anybody is younger than myself. But the point is, I'm noticing the younger crowd. I'm not sure what's happening. I know there's a block somewhere, but I've never known so many people to commit suicide and take their lives. And it is a sin. It is a gift that was given to us, and we have no right to take it. And I think about how over the years, what has happened and all the things that are going on in the world, we have become detached and separated from each other. And it happens more and more each day. And what I think of when I come to the temple is I think about association. No, I may not speak to everyone because I don't see everyone. But the point is, in this temple, and I've noticed it in others too, but in this temple, there is a core group of individuals. And they understand the purpose and the point of service and devotion and the principles that are required to maintain a good sadhana. In other words, they create an environment that makes me feel safe enough to be comfortable no matter how many people are in the room. Whether I speak your language or not, it doesn't matter. It's just the energy that pervades throughout the area. We should take that upon ourselves, especially those that are initiated. You have been given so much mercy. You have been given so much extreme mercy. Don't hold it, because when your hands are closed, nothing's coming in, nothing's going out. Share and reach out to others. Even if no one speaks to you, what I'll do and what I did when I started coming to the temple, because what I noticed is that most people, if they didn't know you, they walk with their heads down like, oh, I don't see you. I don't operate like that. I wasn't raised like that. I make eye contact. I want to look you in the eye. And especially in temples, I want to say Haribo. Now, it's gotten so much that I'm saying Haribo, I forget, and when I'm out in the public, I'm saying it, Haribo, and I catch myself. But that's how enrooted, that's how much I want it to be in me. But the point is, we want to share this nectar, this knowledge with others. But if we don't know how to reach out and communicate, and I don't want this to come out the wrong way, so please forgive me if it does, but we're wasting space. We have a responsibility to Krishna. We have a responsibility to Srila Prabhupada. He worked tirelessly at such an age, and he committed himself to a movement that is a universal movement, and it is a family regardless of what country, what family you were born in. And we need to show that when we come across someone, they should feel that energy in us that we're loving, we're compassionate, we are touchable, we are reachable. If you don't develop a friendship with someone first, and that's a gradual process, it's going to be really hard to teach them or to share with them the lessons of devotion, the scriptures. It's going to be extremely difficult. And some of us are very, very good. And I got to tell you, I'm not a book distributor. I've never been. But some of us are very, very good at distributing books. But when you get out in the public and you distribute books, you have to speak to people. And we have to get in the habit of speaking to people. I have to catch myself because once it's out the mouth, I can't take it back. We need to get in the habit of communicating with each other. This is a good place to do it so that when you get out there, you can communicate with others. You can get comfortable enough to just be an example of Krishna consciousness. And if someone wants more information, then that should flow also, which is why our sadhana is very important. I mentioned earlier that maybe 10 or 15 people could read this scripture, and 10 or 15 people are going to approach it differently. That's totally okay. Krishna is so merciful. And I understand that Srila Prabhupada was so merciful that it didn't matter if you memorize the slokas, if you could quote them randomly, Hare Krishna, if you could pronounce Sanskrit properly, if the rhythm of speaking the text was off. What really mattered is what's in the heart. That's what Krishna sees. That's what we should really see in others. And I think sometimes people are afraid to approach or even come to this point because they're afraid they're not going to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. There are no hard and fast rules of being a devotee. Very simple. Very simple, which is why the last line really got me of the translation, that Krishna is very favorable to his devotees. It is not easy being a devotee. It is very difficult. I don't think we're told all the time how challenging it can be once you take initiation. Not to mention once you take, what do they call? They call initiation something else now. What is the name they give first initiation now? They call it something different. Harinam, yeah, things are changing so much, so I'm trying to be on top of everything. But once you take initiation, Harinam, your life is going to be challenging. It's like Maya sees, oh, so you're trying to be a devotee of the Lord. Let me check you out. Let me see how good you are. Second initiation is even more of a challenge. But I have to tell you, I would not trade any of that for anything, for the mercy, for the benefits, for the boons that one receives. All you have to do is take one step. Krishna takes many, many more steps than we'll ever take. You always will have his backup. No matter what anyone else does, count on Krishna. When you are having trouble and your life seems to be total chaos, what I usually encourage people to do sometimes is, yes, chant, but pray. Krishna hears you. Krishna answers all of your prayers. So I know I'm going off track, but I enjoy this. Krishna hears all of your prayers, no matter what's going on. If you could just hold on to the holy name, if you can just hold on in your mind to the lotus feet of the Lord, when you come to the temple and you have darshan and you're standing in front of their lordships, don't take it for granted, because there are countries where you are not even allowed to have a religion or even have a temple. So I'm saying that to say, don't take any of this lightly. This is serious business. This is very serious business, but the rewards are unlimited, totally unlimited. And I want to close because I know I think I'm almost out of time, but I have to tell you a little story about how transcendental the sound vibration is. I was in Vrindavan years ago. So I'm at the MVT. I don't even know what those letters mean for that building. What is it? Oh, is that what it is? All these years it's like MVT. What is that? But thanks. But I'm at the MVT, and they have this amazing restaurant upstairs. So the restaurant wasn't open, and I go upstairs and I'm waiting in this big wicker chair, high back. And if any of you have ever been in the Pujari room with me, and I'm trying to tell you how transcendental sound vibrations are. If you've ever been in the Pujari room, I hum. I hum because I like the sound of the music that we sing, our scriptures. I like it. So I hum a lot. So I'm up there humming all by myself. So I got a little carried away. I was loud. Monkeys are all over the place, and I think they think they have dominion over Vrindavan. But I guess maybe I was there 10 or 15 minutes. I was in heaven. I was fine. I love space. And I got up after I finished humming because the restaurant opened, and I walked over to the door, and I just looked back where I was sitting, and behind me, a monkey was sitting frozen in a position. He didn't move, he didn't budge, and he stayed in that position. So my thinking was, he was so captured by the sound vibration that he stayed in that position all the while I was singing. He could have climbed over the chair and grabbed my glasses. The transcendental sound vibration is so powerful that even animals respond to it. That's how powerful it is. One more thing. One more. Sound vibration. I was up north somewhere in Michigan. And at night, I'm sitting and chanting outside on the porch. Dark. And across the street, there's a cat chasing a rabbit. Strange. So I started to sing. And I will sing randomly, so if I do it around you, don't feel like I've lost it. Well, maybe I have, but I've lost it transcendentally. But I'm singing, and I'm singing enough for this cat and this rabbit to hear. And you know what? All of a sudden, the cat stopped chasing the rabbit, and they both sat together and they listened to the bhajan that I was singing. So even though this wasn't the exact topic, I'm just telling you how powerful the Mahamantra is, how powerful the sound vibration is. Never take any of this for granted. It is serious. but the rewards are unlimited. Never forget that. So I'm going to end at this point and just reminding you that the Lord is very favorable to his devotees. If you're not, become one of them. And if they're listening, and of course people are listening over the online, it doesn't necessarily, and as I said, once it's out the mouth, I can't take it back. But it doesn't matter if it's you become a devotee of Krishna, of Jesus Christ. It doesn't matter. The point is, serve the Lord in proper capacity and serve it to the best of your ability. And no matter what's going on in your world and in life, whatever it is, if you take to it seriously, you'll get through anything. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanande. Does anyone have any comments or anything you want to express?
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mother Antaryami. I mean, you covered so many incredible points. I don't even know where to start. And I so appreciate you talking about this seriousness, but also the beauty and love that's in our faith. And I just want to express how much I appreciate you. You took initiation from such an extraordinary, exalted personality, and every time I see you, I can tell that you're carrying him in your heart. So I know what you're telling us today you've learned from His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj. But I wanted to take a minute to glorify another member of our community because you made me think of her. You were talking about how important it is to reach out to the devotees when you come into the temple, check in with people. And it made me think of Her Grace Mother Nandini. Every time she comes into the temple, she's grabbing this person, she's grabbing that person, she's telling me I need to eat more pasta. She's showing, how she dressed the deities. And a couple of weeks ago, we went on Harinam, and she did book distribution. Wow. And watching her really touched my heart. I've never seen anybody distribute books the way that she does. And I realized her power is that she truly cares. She cares about you. She cares about all the devotees. She cares about all the non-devotees. Yes. She was capturing these groups of young people, like their early 20s. They're out on a Friday night. And she was holding them for 10, 15 minutes. And she gets really close to them, and they're talking about their lives and relationships. I've never seen anything like it. Yes. And that just comes down to the power of caring. And that's what I see, just caring about devotees, and then you take that love for non-devotees. And so, yes, Hare Krishna.
You are absolutely right. Every time I see Nandini, she's enthusiastic, regardless of what's going on with her. She's, and we both have challenges, but we can still smile, and she'll come up and she'll hug me so tight, and she's so sincere. And yes, she'll speak to just about anybody and everyone. And the point is, that's interesting, you saying how she was holding the attention of those that were younger than her. You will find me not in any particular age group. My age group, fine. But I'm not going to be stuck in an age group. I want to be able to communicate with all age groups. That's very important. But yes, I totally agree with what you say about Mother Nandini. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
I would like to also add that we have Nandavraj Prabhu. I have always noticed him communicating with so many people, the temple visitors. Yes. Like Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada used to say, Prana ache jar setu prachar. One who has life. There has to be fire in the belly. Right? So I always see that. I just wanted to say that. And also, I was contemplating on the story that you narrated. It was so wonderful about the monkey who was like frozen totally. Yeah. So I was thinking, I think it also depends on the chanter's practice, and otherwise my monkey is always restless. I keep chanting. I'm just thinking, the practice has to be really solid, and there has to be substance in the chanters.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And yes, I was teasing Nandabraj. you take on a very serious responsibility. When you are dealing with other personalities, everything is not going to go according to the way you want it. And it's amazing how you approach the inconsistency, the patience you have, and how you address things. So I commend you on that. I've watched you since you've come here and how you've grown. And I've got to say, I'm proud of how you're growing. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you both. You're very kind. I really do appreciate it. There's amazing things when the devotees give you a gift of appreciation, that it gives you enthusiasm, because the mercy of our Guru is being felt. Like, you know, each individual has a place that we've been and a place that we're at now, and we can really see our Guru's mercy. And so when I hear that, I really appreciate it, because it reminds me of my Guru and how much he's helped me to do anything that pleases the devotees. So I thank you both for that gift.
Jai.
One thing, thank you so much for the class, beautiful class. I was curious about this. You were saying that when you take when you take Diksha, that things get harder. And I appreciate this point. I think it's, you know, in the Christian religion, Jesus really makes this evident that when you choose God, you're going to have to carry a cross. I think sometimes we don't necessarily talk about that in our culture so much, and how to help people through it, because it's kind of a surprise.
Yeah.
However, one thing I heard from you was that Krishna favors the devotees. And I was thinking, you know, and then I heard you say, I wouldn't give it up for anything. So I got like three things. Krishna favors the devotees. Take initiation, you're going to have trouble. And then Antaryami Prabhu wouldn't give it up for the world. So can you kind of bring these things together, these seemingly contradictions?
Absolutely. But first of all, I want to mention, Manjari mentioned how whatever I'm speaking of or doing is an example of what my Guru has given me. I want to express that even though Guru is not present, he still communicates. We should remember, for those of us that are fortunate to still have your Gurus in their body, please take advantage of that. But also those that are listening, and Guru is no longer in this body, he is still more present. My Guru is still, he's more present to me now than when he was in his body, because I was such a challenge for him. It was like I just knew everything, and now I realize I didn't. And he's so merciful, but he's so present, so it is so important. But getting back to what you were saying, Nandraj, what I have discovered is that every challenge, every hiccup, every block that I experience or go through, it is a step toward growth. I grow from whatever the challenge is. If I don't go through it, I won't grow. And while I'm going through it, there are times when no one else can be present to assist me. That makes me, that forces me to drop to my knees and just throw up my hands and surrender. And it's a very humbling position, because then what you're saying is, first of all, I don't know everything, and then second, I can't handle everything, and that this is too much for me, and that please help me. And Krishna hears, he listens, and he always takes care. But there's no saying, in order to appreciate the sunshine, you have to have a little rain. And as devotees, you have to have this growth that takes place. And in most situations, it's like a stumbling block, or it's a situation that seems unbearable. It's something, it may be something that you've dealt with previously in a previous life and you just didn't have it right. Well, now is your opportunity to get it right. The point is, you don't run away from it. You face it head on, but you face it with the understanding that you're not facing it alone. For those that have gurus with you. You have disciples that are there. Above all else, you have Krishna. He is always there to help you. And every time there's a challenge and you go through it, just around the corner is breathing space. Something good always comes from it. I cannot tell you in all the years that I've been a devotee and I've had challenges that just around the corner, it was like, you have that waiting to exhale moment, and then something good comes from it. And sometimes it's something you can't even imagine happening. And yes, out of all the stress, the strife, the challenges inside the temple, outside the temple, with people outside the temple, inside the temple, I wouldn't trade it for anything, because it has helped me become who I am. And I'm still not there yet. I'm trying to get better and better. But it is worth it. Whatever it is you go through, it's not worth anything if you don't reach out and cry out for help. But it is worth it when you go through it, because you don't go through it alone, and you always have the help, and there's always something you're going to gain from it. If you're not seeing what you're gaining from it, then you're not looking at it the right way. And yes, I wouldn't treat any of this. Wouldn't go back and undo any of it, because it has helped me become stronger, probably more bold than I should be, but we're warriors. We're supposed to be bold, but it helps you become a better person. I hope that answered you.
Amazing. I was thinking, one thing I've noticed is when devotees try to avoid suffering, overly avoid it, you know what I mean? That's actually like makes it suffering.
It does.
But if you have the focus that you have, it's like the suffering isn't even suffering. It's like, it's still tough. It still isn't easy, but it's like there's that growth that like makes it blissful, you know? So thank you.
Yeah, we all have that capacity. We do. Yes.
Thank you so much for a wonderful class. I always enjoy your classes so much. And I really appreciated the story you told about the cat and the rabbit and the sound vibration. And that kind of seems to be a theme in my life this week at Krishna House on Saturday. We had a discussion about sound vibration and how it affects things. And a couple of things that were brought up was there is a study called cymatics, CYMATICS, that is a science of measuring molecules and sound vibration and how sound or vibration affects them. You can put sand or salt on a platform and play sound vibrations, and they will form beautiful patterns according to the vibration, the sound vibration that's going on. And then there's water molecule experiments, and our body is 70% water, and you can play beautiful music, classical music, or something pleasing, and the molecules are photographed, and they make beautiful, beautiful patterns. And if the sound is obnoxious or annoying or loud or whatever, the pattern will be very, very ugly.
Yes.
So since our bodies are 70% water, everything, all the sound around us is affecting the inner person.
Yes, it
so
does.
it's pretty easy with that thinking to understand how the rabbit and the cat were mesmerized by your chanting. And like I say, I just want to say thank you for bringing that up, because it's very, very important. So thank you.
Thank you for mentioning that. Sound vibration is so important. Sometimes you don't even have to speak. You can be around someone and you can pick up the energy. It is so heavy, they don't have to open their mouth, and it's like, you want to get away from them. But sound vibration affects how you speak, how you say what you say affects people. So yeah, that's a very good point. I've heard of that before. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Yes.
Hare Krishna, thank you for teaching in your time today. Do you mind if I read some notes that I took?
Just keep, sure, but Keep in mind we've got a time limit, but go ahead.
Okay. When you go back and reread the scriptures, you will always find something new. And regardless of your mistakes, Krishna is favorable to his devotees. And if you tell me who your friends are, I will know who you are. Sometimes we are too private and do not ask for our needs to be filled. Even though there are many resources available, we should be checking on each other randomly, share the mercy you have been given, reach out and communicate. We have a responsibility to pass on the priceless gift that we have been given. All you have to do is take one step. Krishna takes many, many more steps. If you can just hold on to the connection you have to Krishna and not take it for granted. The Maha Mantra is so powerful, it stops the forces of nature. The lion lays down with the lamb. Her power, as she truly cares, it is felt in sincerity and so received. Appreciation is the gift of enthusiasm. Guru is more present once gone than when embodied. The instructions are still given. In order to appreciate the rain, you have to have too much sunshine. Around each challenge is space to breathe. The waiting to exhale. The exhale happens, and it is better than imagined.
You take super good notes. Those are really good points. Thank you for sharing.
I just wanted you to know I was listening.
I am so glad you were listening. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Those are very good points. Anyone else? Or we'll end at this point. Thank you so much for being here. You could be anywhere else, but you chose to be here. Krishna chose you to be here. So, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Jai Shri Shri Radhakala Janji Dham ki jai. Vaishnavas ki jai.